Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the octave pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the whole elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. And my Zai from GMS Atlanta camp coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification, Lord willing, this be edifying. Now, I titled this lesson, The Line is Drawn in the Sand, or in this case, on the concrete, because that's what Esau loved. You know, it reminds him of the caves. So anyway, the line is drawn in the sand. And this is what Putin is telling Babylon the Great. So I got a few clips I'm going to play, and I got a couple of precepts I'm going to get. So Lord willing, be edifying. This is the line is being drawn in the sand, man. With the Bell, which is Russia, and Babylon the Great. Because as the saying is, when you keep poking the bell, man, eventually it's gonna strike, man. So let me pull this first clip. This is let me get this first. Make sure it's sharing. Turn this volume down. Hey, this is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to these videos. This is for educational purposes only. Lord wouldn't be edifying. We're gonna start with this.
Russia's president is sending a warning to NATO if it deploys missiles or troops to the Ukraine. Vladimir Putin called that a red line that would trigger a strong response from Moscow. NATO countries have been warning Russia against any further military aggression against Ukraine as officials meet in Latvia. Tension soared in recent weeks with both sides staging military exercises and Russia deploying nearly 100,000 troops and tanks to its border, prompting concerns in Western capitals. Kiev has asked for NATO's support, urging it to take measures, including more sanctions. Russia's president.
So it ain't no coincidence. He said red line. So let me get this next clip. I got a few of them. Bear with me. I got a few of them, man. So this is let me see, Salakia. Right here. Let's get this one. It say Biden warns Putin of sanctions, aid for Ukraine military if Russia invades. Right now, Putin going. Hey, he already. Hey, he say he drawn a line, man. He have drawn a line. So now this is Babylon the Great, right? Responding. It's December the 7th, 2021, the year of hastening of Yahweh Shema Shah.
There you go. Hello.
U.S. President Joe Biden held a much-anticipated 2-hour video call with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday, warning him that his country would face strong economic sanctions and other measures if Russia invades Ukraine.
Things we did not do in 2014, we are prepared to do now.
U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters after the video call that potential economic sanctions would exceed the measures imposed on Russia after it annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014, but added that he did not believe an invasion was imminent.
We still do not believe that President Putin has made a decision. What President Biden did today was lay out very clearly the consequences if he chooses to move. And ultimately, we will see in the days ahead through actions, not through words, what course of action Russia chooses to take.
The virtual meeting, which Sullivan said was mainly about Ukraine, comes at the lowest point for U.S.-Russian relations since the end of the Cold War. Economic sanctions, which one U.S. official said could target Russia's biggest banks and Moscow's ability to convert rubles into dollars and other currencies, are designed to dissuade Putin from using tens of thousands of troops gathered near the Ukrainian border to attack its southern neighbor. The Kremlin, which said before Tuesday's video call that it did not expect any breakthroughs, has denied harboring any intention to attack Ukraine and has said its troop posture is defensive. Putin told Biden he wanted legally binding guarantees against what the Kremlin calls creeping NATO expansion and complained about NATO attempts to, quote, develop Ukrainian territory. The virtual meeting ended with an agreement to continue talks and meet in person at some point, and both sides directed their teams to follow up on issues related to Ukraine.
All right, let me get this next one. These is all new, which if you're keeping up with what's going on, you already know. I just put a few of them together.
All right, so let's start with the big story that we're tracking on Beyond This Hour, where the United States and NATO allies have issued a pretty stark warning to Russia, saying that there will be some very serious consequences if Russia were to act against Ukraine. The NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and also the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken had some pretty strong words for Russia as the foreign ministers of NATO gathered in Latvia to discuss the increased military activity along the Ukrainian border.
Did you see that? I just played the clip a little while ago. That was the first clip I played. You see what it say? Putin warns West not to cross red line. Hey, and this is a common saying when you look it up on Google. It was one general when there was a battle at the Alamo Sea. He said he draw the line in the sand. Then there was another one you look it up. During the time of the Spartans, it was a line drawn, man. And if you step over that line, it's gonna be war, man. So, and Putin, and hey, you see it. Putin wants West not to cross red line, and it ain't no coincidence that it's a red line. Why? Because Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. Right? Idumeans against Idumeans. And I was looking up this also. The battle of the American Civil War with French, British, and Spanish, right? And it tell you it say in the battle of the American Civil War, it said the military service were divided between the Union and the Confederacy, and they said it was literally brothers against brothers, man. Idumeans fighting for two parties. One party had the rebel flag, the other party had the American flag. And these was Idumeans, man. And they've been doing this since Alexander the Greek, Antiochus Epiphanes, man. This is what they have always been separate, divided, man.
For Russia, as the foreign ministers of NATO gathered in Latvia to discuss the increased military activity along the Ukrainian border.
Listen, did you see that? It said Ukraine asked NATO to sanction Russia. Well, who the hell is NATO to sanction Russia, man? Hey, you see, this is a real line drawn, man. This is serious. This is not nothing to take lightly, man. And I'm watching the head brother by camp last night, And this guy Elon Musk say that the brain chips will be ready in 2022, man. So you see, hey, Putin done draw the line, man. War is brewing up, right? The Karama is brewing up, man. It's finna play. It's finna get real, man.
There will be a high price to pay for Russia if they once again use force against the independent sovereign nation, Ukraine. We have demonstrated our ability to impose costs, economic, political actions, and also over the years also increased our military presence in this region, just to make sure that all allies are totally defended and protected against any Russian aggressive actions.
Any escalatory action.
You see that? He said that all the allies is protected against Russia. So it's Russia against everybody else, man. And according to prophecy, guess who's going to win? Because it's the weapons of the Heavenly Father Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai's battle, man.
By Russia would be of great concern to the United States as they would to Latvia, and any renewed aggression would trigger serious consequences.
The Russian President Vladimir Putin responded by cautioning the West not to cross the Kremlin's red lines.
Дело не в том, чтобы вводить там войска, не вводить, воевать, не воевать, а дело в том, чтобы наладить отношения по созданию более справедливого, устойчивого развития и учета интересов в области безопасности всех участников международной деятельности. Вот если мы будем искренне к этому стремиться, то никаких угроз никто не будет испытывать.
Hey, he say he hope it does not come to that. I don't got to play no more of that. That was enough. There was enough on that. Salakia. Let me come back to me and pull this next one. That it was I didn't know it was the information in that. But anyway, let me pull this next one. Hey, it's about to go down, man. And as the Lord had the angels holding back them winds, hey, the pressure is building up, man. So, as we always say, these things are playing out together, man. The Karama coming to a head, just like World War III coming to a head. Everything else gonna fall in Jacob's trouble. All this is gonna play out, man. And while Jacob's sitting out here partying and playing, hey, the pressure is building up, man. It's just a moment. It's just a moment of time for the pipes burst, man. So let's get this.
The top Space Force general warning the U.S. is lagging behind China and Russia in developing hypersonic defense technology. This, as U.S. officials reportedly confirmed China's hypersonic missile test in July was more advanced than initially thought. Let's bring in Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane. And I noted that David Thompson, he's the vice chief of space operations for the United States, says we are not as advanced as the Chinese or the Russians in terms of hypersonic programs. Is that a problem, General?
Nah. Before we go further with this, like I was saying, the brother did a lesson last night about this guy Elon Musk said the brain chips will be ready by 2020, man. Right? What it said, Revelation 13 and 14, he deceived people by the means of those miracles. I did a lesson on it, I think earlier this year, or I think it was maybe been last year, the end of last year when he was they were showing. I'm gonna have to repost that video. He putting the brain chips in paraplegics, them that have dementia, all these different type of ailments that people got, man, to deceive people to seem like they miracles. Hey, this is all playing out, man. We told you. The apostle Great Millstone been telling you, man. All you guys that are still, you don't want to talk about the mark of the beast because you ain't certain that it is the Karama, that's what it is, and you on the fence, you straddling the fence about this. Hey, man, this guy say they ready to go, man. 2022, man. He said they've been testing it. They've been testing them on monkeys, even though that's not humans, but whatever. The point is, this is finna play out, man. What you straddling the fence about is finna play out, man. So all you ones, all them people you got following you, like WF5 with they 13, 14, 15,000 views and all that. Hey, man, what your followers gonna think when this play out, man? He said humans will receive these things by 2022, man. So while that's playing out, we dealing with another thing now. The missiles. You people talking about ain't no missiles in the scriptures. Well, what is these people? It said what? No, Babylon the Great is really concerned because they is not advanced like China or the Russians when it comes to hypersonic missiles, man. What are they? Why are they making missiles? What are they for? You people's out there straddling the fence, man, about that brain chip and these missiles. You finna find out, man.
Yeah, oh, it absolutely is, Dana. I mean, the United States is used to having a qualitative advantage over our adversaries for decades, and this has begun to change, not just with this system, but with some others. And clearly the Chinese and the Russians have technology that we do not have in terms of its deployability yet. The Army will produce a system, in 24, the Navy in 25 on surface ships, and also on submarines in 27. But that will still leave us with a major problem, Dana, because we don't have any way to defend against this system. And what we're involved in developing as quickly as we can is advanced satellites with sensors on it to be able to track this system as it orbits the Earth's atmosphere, and secondly, to be able to intercept it. So both of those developments have to take place, and they are a top priority, certainly for the Pentagon. And
hey, what does scripture say? Hey, it should be taken. Cause this city with no walls, right? Ain't no defense system over here, man. And if it is, according to prophecy, according to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Babylon the Great can't defend themselves from these intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And this other guy that be on RT News, Michael Maloof, he was a high ranking. He had the Pentagon. He said North America don't have a defense system like Russia, man. And you hearing it right here. You hearing it from the horse mouth, man. Esau Edom, man. Look at it. If this is not Esau, who it is, man? If this ain't Esau Edom on the screen right here, who is it? Yeah, that's him, man. Hey, the city with no walls, man. No defense system, man.
And listen, we have said before that China has a quantitative advantage over us in the Indo-Pacific region. They've got more airplanes, they've got more ships, and they have more missiles than we have deployed in that area. And that is another thing that we have to overcome and begin to forward deploy our capability there to establish deterrence. After all, what we have learned from 40 years of dealing with the Soviet Union, we have to have a strategic deterrence that the enemy accepts as real and that we would use it, and therefore they do not want to enter into conflict with the United States. And we've got to fix this with a sense of urgency, Dana.
I feel the same.
Hey, you see how prophecy is beautiful, man. Hey, according to prophecy, we're gonna keep saying this. Hey, as Apostle Kabar say, repetition is the father's skill. They will never have a defense system, man, that's capable of stopping Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, weapons of their armory, man. They will never have it. The scripture said this place is going down by fire, man. So if that's true, according to which it is, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. They out of gas, man. It's just a matter of time.
On that one, I also wanted to ask you about this. You've followed this story for years, and the question of whether Russia is amassing troops on the borders with Ukraine for a possible invasion. And some are saying that maybe by late January that could happen. But the spokesperson for the Kremlin, our old friend Dmitry Peskov, says this hysteria is being whipped up artificially. He said this on state television in Russia. Those who have brought their armed forces from overseas are accusing us of unusual military activity on our own territory, that is, the United States. How do you see it, sir?
Well, first of all, we got to see it as being real. I mean, there's over 90,000 troops that are in the vicinity of the Ukraine border. So that's obviously a serious situation. We don't know what's inside of Putin's head, whether he's going to conduct an invasion as the defense official in Ukraine thinks maybe by late January, or is he doing this just to make certain that the United States and the West stops providing assistance to Ukraine, and number two, Ukraine stops its desire to move towards the European Union and also to become a member of NATO. I think those latter two things, Russia has succeeded at quite frankly, rather successfully in incurring Ukraine's ambitions and stopping those ambitions and also pushing back on the West. But this is a serious issue. It deserves monitoring. And certainly the United States should be sending unequivocal messages with NATO and our European friends as to what the cost will be for Russia if they take this on.
Right, because it doesn't.
Hey, this is beautiful, man. Hey, you heard they just said they don't know what's in Putin's head. We do. Hey, this is Proverbs 16:1. We know what's in Putin's head. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, this is too funny. This Proverbs 16:1. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. They don't know what's in Putin's head. We reading it, man. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Let's get one more. This is Proverbs 20:27. It reads, the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly, which is the mind. The Lord controlling this, man. Also, Salakia, got to get one more. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. You see that?
Doesn't seem clear. One last question, a quick one. President Biden will go to Fort Bragg today. It's always, of course, exciting for when the commander-in-chief comes to visit. But this is coming as we get these reports that there are some Navy sailors that have had to take out loans after being shorted on pay. And then last...
Okay, let's go into something else. So we done with that. Let me come back to me. You see, man. Oh, let me play this again before I get these others. Hey, because we know, according to these prophecies, man, they can't defend themselves, man. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose, man. Let me play this one more time. But hey, Putin done draw the line, man.
Russia's president is sending a warning to NATO if it deploys missiles or troops to the Ukraine. Vladimir Putin called that a red line that would trigger a strong response from Moscow. NATO countries have been warning Russia against any further military aggression against Ukraine as officials meet in Latvia. Tension soared in recent weeks with both sides staging military exercises and Russia deploying nearly 100,000 troops and tanks to its border, prompting concerns in Western capitals. Kiev has asked for NATO's support, urging it to take measures, including more sanctions.
You see? You see? Yeah. You play with fire, man, and you will get burnt, man. And they're going to get burnt. Thus saith the Lord, man. So let me get this one. You're going to get burnt.
Well, U.S. President Joe Biden meets his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, today via video. They'll be discussing Russia's troop buildup on its border with Ukraine. The U.S. has threatened severe economic consequences if Russia invades its neighbor. In recent weeks, the U.S. has reported that Russian troops were massing in several locations close to Ukraine and Belarus. Moscow says it wants security guarantees from neighboring countries and NATO.
Not the best of friends. U.S. President Joe Biden and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin last met in June. Since then, tensions over Ukraine have grown worse. Both sides say the other is trying to destabilize the region. Russia fears that the West is trying to weaken Russian security by pushing Ukraine to join the NATO military alliance. Putin has said that would be a red line. For the West, Russia's buildup of troops along the border is an escalation.
We were aware of Russia's actions for a long time, and my expectation is we're going to have a long discussion. I won't accept anybody's red line.
Russia says it's the U.S. and NATO that are responsible for any tensions.
Hey, Creepy Joe said he's not accepting nobody red line. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Hey, these are fighting words, man. These are fighting words, man. Hey, the eagle is poking the bear. The eagle is poking at the bear with its nails, man. Guess what's finna happen?
The threat on our western border is really growing. See how close NATO
guess what? You may be the highest flying bird, but guess what? You're gonna have to swing down to get with this bear, man. You can't win by flying around in the air.
Military infrastructure has moved to Russia's borders. This is more than serious for us. Analysts say the situation is fragile. On the eve of the meeting, the Kremlin said U.S.-Russian relations were in a lamentable state. And there are many ways Moscow's troop buildup could go wrong, even if it is just a bargaining tactic.
No matter what Putin intends, the possibility of accident or incident leading to a hot crisis is very real. So I think it's a very concerning situation. I do think that he is setting up, in some ways, his conversation with Biden. But frankly, I think Biden, in many ways, has the upper hand here because Putin.
See, this is always the pride of Babylon the Great, man. Always. And you know they control the media, so you already know she already got a script. She reading from a script, man. Hey, according to prophecy, it's a wrap, man. But they can fool the common folk with this madness.
Very much wants this meeting with Biden.
Russia wants a, quote, security guarantee from Biden, meaning that Ukraine will not join NATO and that U.S.-backed forces will not come up to the Russian border. But those are assurances Biden is unlikely to give.
Let's bring in Margarita Klein.
You talking about Putin want to have this meeting with Biden. No, you hope that. That's what you hope. With Putin, it doesn't matter, man. It can go either or, man. The Lord got a real proud spirit on that man. Of course, he got to play a humble role, but this man is ready, man. And we know good and well, man. Babylon the Great. Hey, I did a lesson a while ago. It was going into how when you leave Babylon the Great and not dealing with their army, everybody's army, China, Russia, ain't no LGBTQP up in their armies, man. The only one got those that float in their armies is Babylon the Great, and they are weak, super weak, man. Russia and Iran and China don't got none of that. Ain't no transformers on they playing for their team, man. These people, this is the pride of these people, man. Bugged out, man. Well, not everybody's saying what she's saying. You got general talking about they don't know what to do. Come on, man.
Here. She's an expert on Russia and Eastern Europe at the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. Thanks for being with us this morning. Dr. Klein, we keep hearing about rising tensions in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. How close are we to escalation on the ground?
Well, the potential for escalation, either intended or unintended, seems to be quite high. We observe unusual troop movements and deployments by Russian armed forces on the border to Ukraine, an exercise on Crimean Peninsula, increasing clashes on the front line in Donbass, and an increasing belligerent and provocative rhetoric by the Russian leadership towards Ukraine. So we don't know the Kremlin's intentions, whether it is actually about intervention, whether it is about show of force to force the US to enter into high-level negotiations, or whether it is just about keeping Ukraine in a permanent state of tensions and making it unable for the Ukrainian leadership to consolidate domestically and economically. But
So
what
you're
we
saying
see
it's...
is a...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But the potential for miscalculation, for unintended clashes, for a spiral of escalation is really high.
Right. Now, many people, you mentioned several different factors that are playing into this, but the buildup of Russian troops on that border to Ukraine has got many people very worried. They say that there's really quite a serious risk of this going wrong. Why is this happening now?
Well, the underlying conflict about the normative and institutional order in Eurasia and Eastern Europe is quite old, since the 90s. But what is new and what has changed is a growing frustration on the side by the Kremlin with regard to Zelensky, for example, who restricted Russian influence in Ukraine, with regard to the US, that has not entered into such kind of a high-level permanent dialogue with Russia that would recognize it as a great power, and with regard to the strategic partnership between the US and Ukraine, that even without a formal NATO membership, enhances the military cooperation between the US and Ukraine and putting Ukraine closer to NATO.
If Russia's president does decide to invade Ukraine, who or what do you think could stop him?
Well, it's really hard to assess the cost-benefit calculation of the Kremlin. But the key would be Western unity coupled with a credible threat of harmful countermeasures. For example, excluding Russia from SWIFT agreement, canceling Nord Stream 2 pipeline, or freezing assets of oligarchs that are close to Putin. And furthermore, more military assistance to Ukraine.
Okay. Margareta Klein there from the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. Thank you.
Instead of just saying, can't nobody stop them, man. Can't nobody stop them, man. If this thing play out, which it ain't, everything got to be fulfilled first. But if it did, there's nobody that can stop them, man. Can't nobody stop Putin, man. So let me get this. Hey, these prophecies is beautiful, man. Let me see. Okay, I played that. I played that. Okay, so check this out. Let me get this.
Russia's new next-generation interceptor, S-550, that shocked the world.
S-550, man.
As tensions rise with NATO, Russia announced the development of S-550, an advanced, never-seen-before missile defense system, seemingly deadlier than the recently unveiled S-500 Promety. Russia claims new S-550 system will be world's first mobile intercontinental nuclear missile interceptor. While the medium-range S-350 and S-500 missiles were familiar, this was the first mention of a notional S-550 system. The Russian military is preparing to induct the S-500 Promety air defense systems in the 2020s after years of delay. Some experts initially speculated that the S-550 was a shorter-range spin-off of the S-500, just as the S-350 was a medium-range missile complementing longer-range S-300 and S-400 systems. However, Sergei Chemezov subsequently told reporters at the Dubai Airshow the S-550 would be designed to detect and intercept ballistic missiles at a greater distance than the S-500, and that the physical components have already been created. Now the consensus is that S-550 would be a mobile system specialized in strategic defense, defending against intercontinental range ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that arc high into space before raining nuclear destruction at up to 20 times the speed of sound. Russian sources also emphasize a space attack or space defense role, which besides referring to kinetic anti-satellite missions might also include interception of spacecraft in low Earth orbit like the US military's X-37B. Unlike the S-500, there reportedly aren't plans for a naval variant. Curiously, the S-500 was already generally understood to offer significantly improved ballistic missile defense (BMD) capability using its 77N6N series missile, estimated by U.S. intelligence to be effective against intermediate-range missiles, and of partial effectiveness versus ICBMs. But when later interviewed by TASS, military expert Dmitry Litovkin said he presumed it would become an extra element of the Promety system. It was earlier announced that this system would be able to shoot down both ballistic nuclear warheads and low-orbit satellites. Judging by everything, the military has made a decision to divide these functions between the two systems. The multitask option is not always good for a combat system. In a similar vein, an anonymous source told RIA Novosti the S-550 was version of the S-500 air defense system, and will specialize in missile and space defense tasks. These statements, which are by no means definitive, could mean the S-550 is simply the S-500's missile defense capability spun off and perhaps improved to be more reliable against ICBMs. It's unclear if that means the basic S-500 will therefore end up less capable at missile defense than initially promised, or if the S-550 will end up being substantially more effective against ICBMs than was expected of the S-500. S-400 and S-500 SAMs. Earlier this month, Russian President Vladimir Putin said, under the state armament program, 25 S-400 anti-aircraft missile systems and over 70 modern fighters were delivered over the past 4 years. More than 20 S-300 systems and 90 aircraft were upgraded. He also said that the Russian army will get the first batch of S-500s, whose development is years behind schedule. The Russian army previously said that it would receive the first S-500 systems in 2020. In July this year, the Russian military, for the first time, released footage showing the live wire test of its advanced S-500 Prometheus in Russian missile system. The test took place at southern Russia's Kapustin shooting range, with the missile system engaging a high-speed ballistic target. The induction of the S-500, touted as the most advanced and agile missile defense system in Russia's arsenal, is yet to start. The S-500 was launched to supplement S-400 Triumph, which is used and exported by Russia. The announcement of S-550 within a few months of the launch of S-500 raises several questions about the need, function, utility, procedure, and timing. The S-500 is a surface-to-air missile system designed to intercept and destroy ICBMs, as well as hypersonic cruise missiles. It has the requisite capability to evade anti-warning systems and for jamming aircraft. It is designed to defend against UAVs, low Earth orbit satellites, and space weapons launched from hypersonic aircraft. The missile's integrated feature put it in the same league as American THAAD. Despite these unparalleled features, it's questionable why Russia teased a new system. The observation that it wants to strengthen its domestic air defense is untenable, because the Kremlin had observed that Russia has enough to induct as well as export to India and China, as reported previously by Eurasian Times. The S-3...
And we know that Russia just sold India S-400s, man. Let me get this next clip, man. I ain't want to show. That was like 10 minutes. Just wanted to show. This man ain't playing no games, man. So let me get this.
Want to fight Russia? Russia's new nuclear superweapons and strategy. And the Sarmat has practically no range restrictions.
Внимание, расчет! Вывести подвижный грунтовый ракетный комплекс на полевые позиции.
Внимание, расчет, получен приказ на пуск. Я по подготовлению к пуску нет. Внимание, расчет, пуск. Есть пуск.
The Sarmat is reported in the Russian state media as capable of carrying 10 warheads of 800 kilotons or 15 warheads of 350 kilotons. It will be their main counterforce weapon. In light of reported Russian development of variable
infomercial.
yield missile warheads, it is also likely to have a low yield option. Number 2, the Burevestnik, a nuclear-powered cruise missile carrying a nuclear warhead, which Putin said had almost an unlimited range. This is a very dangerous weapon system from a testing safety standpoint because every flight will end in a radiation release. Number 3, an ultra-fast and deep-diving nuclear-powered drone submarine called the Poseidon, which Putin said would carry massive nuclear ordnance. This weapon has similar safety problems as the nuclear-powered cruise missile. Worse, it is a weapon of genocide. If it were used, there would be no way to limit its damage. It is reported in the Russian press to carry a 100 megaton weapon and possibly a cobalt.
Hey, that's what the Lord want, man. For nothing to be left. And that's why I say, the righteous shall scarcely be saved, man. That's why when you read Revelation, what is that, verse 13? Revelation 11 and 14, I think it is. Let me read it real quick. Hey, this is what the Lord want, man. These are his weapons. This is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh's weapons, man. So let me read this. Hey, the righteous shall scarcely be saved, man. Hey, and that's why you should be in fear, man. This is Revelation chapter 11 in verse 12. It reads, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and the enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, which is North America, Babylon the Great. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to power of heaven, man. It said the remnant were affrighted. Why? Because they're going to be saved, but it's going to be scarcely, man. As it said in 1 Peter 4 and 18. Right? Let me play this back, man.
Force weapon. In light of reported Russian development of variable yield missile warheads, it is also likely to have a low yield option. Number 2, the Burevestnik, a nuclear-powered cruise missile carrying a nuclear warhead, which Putin said had almost an unlimited range. This is a very dangerous weapon system from a testing safety standpoint because every flight will end in a radiation release. Number 3, an ultra-fast and deep-diving nuclear-powered drone submarine called the Poseidon, which Putin said would carry massive nuclear ordnance. This weapon has similar safety problems as the nuclear-powered cruise missile. Worse, it is a weapon of genocide. If it were used, there would be no way to limit its damage.
Hey, and that's why it say, hey, the remnant were frightened, man. This is Isaiah 24 and 15. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord, Yahweh Shemawashah, in the fires, even the name of the Lord, Yahweh power of Israel in the isles of the sea, man. Hey, glorify ye the name of Yahweh Shemawashah in the fires. Hey, right now, we're going through the fires, trials and tribulations, adversities and afflictions. So when that real fire hit, the Lord willing, we'll be covered, man. But this is why, hey, the remnant was frightened, man. He said, if these missiles get launched, this is going to be genocide, which it's supposed to be. That's what Yahweh said, man. Yahweh shall say it's going to be annihilation, man. Let me get this. This is Matthew chapter 24 and 1. It reads, and Yahweh shall went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh shall say unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Yeah. Everything shall melt with fervent heat. From what? These.
It is reported in the Russian press to carry a 100 megaton weapon and possibly a cobalt bomb, a doomsday weapon never built during the Cold War. A single submarine armed with these weapons would release more fallout than the entire U.S. strategic force, even if we used it in the most destructive manner. TASS reports it will be deployed during the current procurement plan, which goes until 2027. Number 4, a high-precision hypersonic aircraft missile system, the Kinzhal, which is capable of delivering nuclear and conventional warheads in a range of over 2,000 km, and which is now operational. The chief of the Russian Aerospace Force called it an aeroballistic missile. Deputy Russian Defense Minister Yuri Borisov said that 10 Kinzhals are operational on the MiG-31 fighters, and TASS, the main official Russian news agency, reports that an aeroballistic missile, obviously the Kinzhal, he's working on. Based on open sources, it appears that 4 of these systems are nuclear-armed and 2 are nuclear-capable. In April 2019, Russian ambassador to the United States Anatoly Antonov said that these weapons were not subject to the New START Treaty. It is clear that the New START Treaty does not restrain 4 of the 6, and the 5th is only subject to the treaty because it uses an ICBM as a booster. In March 2019, these developments, coupled with Russia's seizure of Crimea and nuclear threats against our allies, mark Moscow's decided return to great power competition. Russian nuclear modernization is literally never-ending. All legs of the Russian triad are being modernized. When Russia deploys a new system, it starts work on the follow-on. We don't. We are pursuing a minimum program to maintain a nuclear triad, replacing systems only when very old, warheads for each missile type. There is no way to verify the total number of accountable warheads, much less the number of actual deployed warheads, which is clearly much higher. There is no Senate Select Intelligence Committee report on New START verification because there is no credible way to claim it is verifiable. Then Vice Chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence Senator Christopher Bond summed it up during New START ratification. The Select Committee on Intelligence has been looking at this issue closely over the past several months. As the vice chairman of this, the standard Russian position, which claimed it had made an 85% reduction. If one uses the late Soviet declared number of over 10,000 deployed strategic nuclear warheads for the calculations, the difference between an 85% reduction and a 66% reduction is almost 2,000 strategic nuclear warheads above the supposed New START Treaty allowed level of 1,550. This is much higher than any previous unclassified Western estimate of currently deployed Russian strategic nuclear.
Вывести подвижный грунтовый ракетный комплекс на полевые.
Hey, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm gonna read the cover of your brother Precept, because I had mentioned earlier about when the Lord said, "Come against her, the unwalled city," man. I'm gonna read the brother put the precept up. I'm gonna read it in a minute. So let me get this one. This is actually the last one. So this is a battle cruiser. They say this is why Russia's giant battle cruiser is so feared by the U.S. Navy.
Meet this most dangerous gigantic nuclear battlecruiser will terrify opponents. The battlecruisers also served another strategic purpose, power projection. The Kirovs used an unusual combination of nuclear and steam propulsion to generate a speed of 30 knots, while at the same time providing a backup in case of technical failures. This gave the ships long legs, in addition to extraordinary firepower. The Kirovs were ideal platforms for projecting Soviet prestige, forming the core of task forces that could influence political developments around the world. In the long range, the Soviet Navy expected the Kirovs to operate in tandem with its new, never-built, class of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. In the 1970s, the Soviet Union embarked on a project to do what no navy had done for decades: build a surface warfare vessel comparable in size to the battleships of World War I and World War II. The U.S. Navy and every other navy in the world had given up on ships.
Are you ready to bake?
Click join, give perks, become a channel member.
Wait, before you scroll away, Democratic headquarters urgently needs you to sign this petition to protect
Of this size due to expense and vulnerability. Why concentrate capabilities in a single ship which could quickly fall victim to missiles and torpedoes? The Soviets not only persisted in building the ships, but have kept them in service even after the Cold War ended. Originally intended to threaten the U.S. Navy's most precious warships, aircraft carriers, and ballistic missile submarines, the surviving ships now play a different role, showing the flag and ensuring that the world keeps Russian naval power in mind. Origins. The Kirovs, Project 1144, originated as nuclear-powered anti-submarine cruisers, designed to either hunt American missile submarines or protect Soviet nuclear bastions from U.S. and British attack boats. At the time of their initial conception, the Soviets did not focus on anti-ship capabilities in their surface ships. However, improvements in missile technology, combined with the increasing threat posed by American surface vessels, and especially American carriers, made it possible to imagine a ship that could combine surface, subsurface, and anti-submarine warfare capabilities.
Now you see, the Lord got them well-rounded now, man. That old Soviet Union. They well-rounded now, man.
The ship that could fulfill all of these missions was immensely large by Cold War standards. Built around the P-700 Granite surface-to-surface missile system, the Kirovs could threaten Western carrier battle groups, while also carrying out an anti-submarine role. Displacing 26,000 tons, the Kirovs dwarfed previous Soviet surface ships. Indeed, the United States itself had not constructed surface warfare vessels of this size since World War II. Only aircraft carriers and large, flat-decked amphibs exceeded the Kirovs in size. The battlecruisers also served another strategic purpose: power projection. The Kirovs used an unusual combination of nuclear and steam propulsion to generate a speed of 30 knots, while at the same time providing a backup in case of technical failures. This gave the ships long legs, in addition to extraordinary firepower. The Kirovs were ideal platforms for projecting Soviet prestige, forming the core of task forces that could influence political developments around the world.
So I just want to show that. And let me get a few of these precepts, man. So like it, bear with me. Let me check something real quick. So the Lord got these. Oh yeah, I used that. Okay, all right. The Lord got them ready to go, man. So this is an article I was looking at the different times when the British and the French and the Spanish was doing their little whatever they was doing, right? When they tell you about it in Daniel 7, these wars against these Job 9:24s. So the reason all this is going on, man, because you put your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, right? So this is it's called European colonization of North America. It said the invasion of North America continent and its people began with the Spanish in 1565 at St. Augustine, Florida. Then British in 1587. It say when the Plymouth Company established a settlement that they dubbed Roanoke in the present-day Virginia. This first settlement failed mysteriously, and in 1606, the London Company established a presence in what would become Jamestown, Virginia. From there, the French founded Quebec in 1608. Then the Dutch started a colony in 1609 in present-day New York. While Native Americans resisted European efforts to amass land and power during this period, they struggled to do so while also fighting new diseases introduced by the Europeans and the slave trade. It said, while you got Gad and Reuben, Issachar and them, and in the islands, right, you got Ephraim and Simeon and them fighting these devils off. It say while Native Americans resisted European efforts to amass land and power during this period, they struggled to do so while also fighting new diseases introduced by the Europeans and the slave trade. What we got today? The CDC, man. Elder our run was going into this last night, man. I think it was last night or the night before. You devils came over here with these diseases, man. Don't nobody want about no diseases until this devil came on the scene, man. And when we had certain type of ailments, we dealt with the herbs, man. What did this devil do? John D. Rockefeller, man. He took over the medical industry and pushed that if any doctor used any type of herbs, they was put to death, man. I mean, they lost their license and they was locked up if they tried to expose anything. And I'm sure put to death, man. So these devils, so you got Gad, even though you know it's prophecy of the Lord, Gad and Reuben them is cause they was over here doing some wicked stuff, man. In the islands too, with Levi, Benjamin, and Simeon and Ephraim. We always doing wicked stuff, man. The point is, these devils got a CDC, man. It said while Gad and Reuben was scalping these devils got diseases, man. Cause that's how they have to the sword. The Lord gave them that technology to come up with all these type of methods because they can't play fair, man. This devil never play fair. That's why he got the sword, man. He can't fight. He can't hand to hand combat, man. He got the sword and he come up with what they say they search out a diligent search. They accomplish a diligent search, man. These devils, man. So they have always been separated, man. And you got to be destroyed because you came over here and destroyed. You came and got Jake from wherever they were scattered at after the Byzantine Empire and brought Jake over here, man, and scattered Gad and Reuben, Issachar. You scattered us all around the planet, man. So this is let me get this. This is Isaiah 19 and 1. Matter of fact, let me read this brother precept real quick because I had mentioned this earlier. Let me read this real quick. This is Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 38 and 11. This is Malakayah, if I'm saying your name right. Malakayah, servant of Yahushua. He put up Ezekiel 38 and 11. It say, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest. Yeah, Jacob, everybody's comfortable over here, man. Right? That's why I tell you in Isaiah 47, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This place ain't never been spoiled in war before. Everybody over here swole, eating good, living good, drinking good. Everything is just good. Everything is peaches and cream here, man. It said, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, man. Yeah, Babylon the Great is just, everything is good here. Everybody is just laid back, chilling, man. Oh, let me get this. Let me get this before I read Isaiah 19. This is Amos. Let me read this. This is Amos chapter 6 and verse 3. It reads, Ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near, that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches. Jacob just chilling here, man. Laid back, chilling. It say, that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall, that chant to the sound of the viol. Jake loved music, chilling and partying, trying to bring the music into the truth. It say that chant to the sound of the viol and invent to themselves instruments of music like David, that drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointments. You just chilling with the best of the best, huh? But they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. You ain't grieving for the southern kingdom, for the northern kingdom, neither the southern kingdom, man. Hey, and we see the northern kingdom, hey, they catching it, man. Especially Issachar, man. They got them over there in the detention centers, man, separating their families, the kids from their parents, man. You Jakes ain't grieving on nothing, man. You lay back on your beds of ivory and you stretch yourself on your couches and you chilling, man. Why? Because this is This is this is Jake rest over here, man. The Lord plainly said, "This is not our rest." Let me get this one. This is Job, chapter 7 and 13. Now, this is for the ones, the hopeful elect, that's not comfortable, that know we ready to get out of here, man. We know this is not our rest. This Job 7 and 13. When I say, my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint, then thou scarest me with dreams and terrify me through visions, so that my soul chooses strangling and death rather than my life. Meaning, the Lord say, he that loses his life on this side shall gain it. But he that got his life on this side going to lose it, man. So the hopeful elect is not comfortable here, man. And at any moment, the Lord can take your life from you, man. At any moment, man. But guess what's finna happen to this? Guess what's finna happen to this eagle? They going down, man. This is Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord, Yahweh Shema, shall ride upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. From what? From those intercontinental ballistic missiles. The brother put Isaiah 54:16 up, right? These is the weapons of the Lord, man. He created the smith that blow the coals in the fire, right? It say, verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone, it say, and everyone against his neighbor. Let me get this. Hold on. Let me get this real quick before I read the rest of this. Right here. Let me run this back. I just want to show. It say Ukraine's tension rhetoric before Biden-Putin meeting remains aggressive. Why? Because they terrified, man. As to tell you what was that Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, that the keepers of the house shall tremble. Hey, just because we don't see them, man, they trembling, man. Hey, because this man is serious. It say Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. It's prophecy, man. Verse 3. But this is the real terrifying reason. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. See, whatever they thought that was working, that seemed to work, drinking kids' blood, all this adrenochrome and all that madness, it ain't working, man. It's not working, man. It's what's this movie? Half Baked. When the guy went to jail and he said my weed's wearing off. Hey, none of that stuff is working no more, man. The Lord been bringing this place down, man. Through what? Through the words of Yahweh Shema Shai say, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So your counsel, all that secrecy counsel that they used to do, that they still do, them G20 summits, all that, it ain't working, man. It ain't working. The only ones these devils can put their hands on is the 2/3, man. And they already got them. These niggas love to vote. They want to be a part of the system. They already got, man. Nobody care for these 2/3 Jakes, man. These devils want you, man. The hopeful elect, man. The ones that's diligently every day of your life, you walking and feel your how about Shema Shai, paying attention to what's going on, man. You ain't just going to the grocery store, just grabbing stuff off the shelf. You looking at your ingredients now, seeing what's in your food. And when you go somewhere, you watching your surroundings. The rest of Jake just go, man. See, they ain't studying them because they already got. They already done sold out. They voting. They are part of the system. They applying. What it is, they conforming and they complying to the system. The hopeful elect ain't gonna comply nor conform, man. So they want you, man. It say, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. He said he will destroy the wisdom out of Esau, man. Their counsel, they don't got no counsel, man. They can't even come up against this truth, man. All they can do is send out counselors, right? Send out hirelings to frustrate the building, but you can't frustrate it, man. You can't frustrate the building. So that means what? Nothing is working anymore, man. So that leads to what? Revelation 12 and 12. They gotta move, man. It say, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Who's that cruel Lord? Putin, man. The Baal, man. Yeah. This is Luke chapter 11 and verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. And that's what we see going on, man. We already had they had this Brexit, right? Which was what? These people separating from them, man. Part of the horns is separating, man. The scriptures say they're going to leave. This is Ecclesiasticus 21 and verse 27. Because they going back and forth, right? That's why I mentioned Salaki, this battle of the American Civil War, right? And when you put up Google, it said it was brother against brother, man. Right? Idumeans fighting amongst themselves. They always been doing this, man. They always been doing it, man. Since after Alexander the Great conquered, right, all the other nations, hey, his 4 generals or 5 generals been fighting ever since, man. These are the same seed line, the same people come back over and over, fight amongst each other. For what? Power, man. It's all about power. It's Ecclesiastes 21 and 27. When the ungodly curses Satan, he curses his own soul. So there's these devils going back and forth. They got a video when this guy Dr. Fauci was going against one of these Senate guys, and they was going back and forth. People telling him he was a lie about the whole this whole deal with all this what's going on right now. Everybody getting the Jabberwocky. He said, hey, this is all this. He was lying about it, man. They was going back and forth about that. They show you like they on one page, but they ain't on the same page, man. They got you like, oh, you got the ones fighting for the common folk, and the ones fighting, man, they ain't on the same page, man. They have always been like this, but the Lord got them keeping it together until everything be fulfilled, man. This is Mark chapter 3 and 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, which is that Senate house, that house cannot stand, which is the house of the UN. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. This is Yahushua speaking. This is Luke 10 and 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, and they are falling fast, man. Quick speed, man. These devils is not on the same page, and we see it, man. It's all prophecy. And Russia will be the annihilation of Babylon the Great, man. And it's going to get destroyed as well, man. The Lord used one. Hey, just like we see Jake, right? When you see Jake, or it don't matter, it could be a heathen. When you see I'm gonna say a person, when you see a person go kill another person, then what happened? That person get judgment. Either he get killed, or she get killed, or they get life in prison, or they get the lethal injection. Right? The Lord uses one to judge another, and then come another judgment, man. That's how the Lord works, man. That's why you should be in fear, because the Lord is judging every day, all day, man. And none of us, man, is covered, man. Nobody is covered yet, man. This is Beyond Yasharallah. He put up Jeremiah 23 and 20. The anger of the Lord Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days, ye shall consider it perfectly. And we are. The only ones that's not considering this are them that have no vision, man. Them that have no vision. This is Habakkuk 1 and 5. It reads, Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which you will not believe, though it be told to you. And why you think they got these missiles, man? What are they doing with them? They ain't spending, they cost money to make those missiles. So you think they making those missiles just to test them out, man? Just, hey, start the camera. The camera rolling? Yeah, shoot the missile off. You think that's what they doing, man? You think this for entertainment? The missiles ain't for entertainment, man. This is Isaiah. The missiles is not for entertainment, man. This is Isaiah 54 and 16. It reads, Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his works, and I have created the waster to destroy. Right? This is Isaiah 9 and 5. It reads, For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What's going to be with burning and fuel of fire? This is Revelation chapter 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. So, what's going to be with burning and fuel of fire? World War III, man. And they're going to use missiles. So again, all these jakes, they're talking about ain't no missiles in the Bible, man. Well, go read Joel 2, man. Go read Revelation chapter 9, verse 16 and 17, man. And if you can't get it, you just can't get it, man. Isaiah 13 and 5 reads, They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And there's some guys talking about in Revelation 9, they're talking about the angels. What are you talking about, man? They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, man. This ain't talking about no angels, man. It's talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. Oh, let me get this. Jeremiah 50 and verse 12. It reads, because what we saw going on with that Brexit was the one of the 10 or the 10 horns basically separate from Babylon the Great eventually, man. Right? Or one of the 10 horns, right? It say Jeremiah 50, Great Britain. That was Britain, Salakia. That was Britain, which is one of the horns. That was Britain separated from Babylon the Great, man. This is Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. It say, Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. When you go to Revelation, it tell you that North America is of the seventh, it's the eighth, but it's of the seventh. Who is the seventh? It's Great Britain, man. We know Babylon the Great came out of Great Britain, man. Right here it say, Your mother shall be so confounded with you, man. So now they done broke off, right? And then the 10 horns going to break off. It tell you that in Revelation 17, man. These things is happening. And we get to sit here and watch it through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. So if you can't accept that missiles is in the Bible, man, that the mark of the beast is in the Bible, man. It was already written. If you can't accept it, hey, maybe the Lord will give it to you at a later time, man. But we see this clear. And again, all you guys that straddling the fence about what the Quran is, hey, what you gonna say? What you gonna say to all your followers you got, man? when they make it mandatory, what you gonna say then? Everybody gonna say, well, we already know everybody gonna say. The apostles of Great Millstone have been saying this since way back, man. Since way back, man. Before some of us was born, man. They were saying this about the Quran, man. How long you guys gonna you don't know what to do? We ain't gonna talk about it because we ain't sure yet. What are you talking about, man? Everything is leading to the Karagma, to the MOTB, man. This is in his like the yesterday, all I put up Joel 3 and 2, and it reads, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people, and it's a for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. When you read that, what does that sound like? It sounds like just as it's read, man. The Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians that have been scattered over the entire planet, man. It's talking about them, man. That's plain. What was I finna get? This is Zephaniah chapter 2, Salakia, Zechariah 2 and 6. And it reads, it say, Ho ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord Yahweh. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, saith the Lord. And it said the same thing in Matthew 24, man. The Lord said he want to gather his elect from the four winds, man. It's talking about the Israelites. Verse 7, deliver thyself, O Zion. Zion is another name for you Hebrew Israelites, man. Zion is the name that the Lord gave you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. This doesn't apply to the world. Zion is you. It say, deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. The Lord is always talking about how he's going to destroy these nations, man. Jeremiah 25 tell you that. When you start at verse 14, Jeremiah 25 and 14 all the way down, man, to 32, man. It tell you how the Lord going to destroy these nations. They got a cup they got to drink, man, because we had a cup that we had to drink. As it says, Zechariah 1 and 15, you devils went overboard, man. You helped forth the affliction of the Israelites. You ain't supposed to be cutting Jake rods off and hanging them up with their hand tied behind their back with their rod cut off and butt breaking them in front of their wives, man. You went overboard, man. So you got to pay for that, man. It say, and the Lord knew you, the Lord put the spirit on you to go overboard. So he'll be justified in destroying you, man, and making you desolate. It say, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that touched you touched the apple of his eye, man. Israel is the apple of the Lord's eye. So he's going to be justified in destroying whatever you got, man. It says it shall be in Joel 18, in Job 18, it says it shall be no name, nor remnant, nor nephew, man. It's going to be nothing left. He says that these devils should be plucked up by the root, man. This is this is Psalms 105. This is Psalms 105 in verse 13. This is Psalm 105 and 13. It reads, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yeah, he reproved kings for their sakes. Think about what he did with this guy, Nebuchadnezzar, man. Right? Through the three holy children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, man. Hey, he did Nebuchadnezzar in for that, man. It say he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yeah, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Slavery, servitude is justified in the law. Hanging is justified in the law. It's how you handle the business, man. And you devils, you Job 9:24s, you ain't handling the business right, man. What's the Lord put the spirit on you to do it, so he'll be justified in destroying you, man. Hey, do his prophets no harm, man. This is Jeremiah 51. in verse 7. Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. It say, what? And deliver every man his soul. When you read in 2 Ezra 16, verse 13, say, set thine house in order and then reprove thy people. Right? So be in the highways and hedges as messengers, man. We are just messengers to deliver the message, man. It say, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense, man. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Habakkuk 2, right? You put the bottle to every nation and made them drink. Your philosophies, your policies, your legislations, your democracy, your draconian measures, right? Your draconian laws. Every nation got a drink of this, man. It say the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her. If so be, she may be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies, man. That's how much wickedness you devils done did on planet Earth, man. It's reaching up to the heavens, man. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 11 and 39. It reads, Art not thou it that remainest of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times may come through them? Who? Hey, the elites control the world from Babylon the Great, man. So the end of their times is going to come through right here, Babylon the Great, man. Babylon the Great, man. This is Jeremiah 50 and 22. It reads, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. Great destruction. Why great destruction? Because this is Babylon the Great. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And here's another scripture to further prove the point that they have no defense system, man. They have no defense system, and they will not know when it happened. It say Jeremiah 15:24, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. Let me get this one. The Lord said you ain't gonna know. That's how we know you don't got no defense system, man. This is Isaiah 47 in verse 11. It reads, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. You ain't gonna know about it, man. It's just gonna go from one, hey, just like me and the brother going to in 2020, man. One day it was January, it was the 1st, the 15th, and the 30th. In February, 1st, 15th, and 30th, and then boom, everybody on lockdown. Because of what? A so-called the so-called pandemic, right? All of a sudden it just hit, man. Boom. 1 week we was at camp. Next week it was, oh yeah, downtown shut down. Yeah. Everybody was partying 1 week, and then the next day, I forgot what day it was actually. The day when it hit, and it was going crazy, and then it was lockdown. Well, it's gonna be worse this time, man. It's gonna be worse. And one of the sisters just sent me this article today on how they got these matter of fact, I put it in the chat. Let me just pull it up. It say inside Australia's COVID internment camp. So it's a video. Yeah, man. So, hey, lockdowns, man. Lockdowns. And they already got Issachar locked up, man, in these detention centers. Those are concentration camps, man. Ain't no damn detention centers, man. They separating the kids. And who knows? Esau always using kids, man. Then they wind up, they can't find the kids or they can't find the parents. Hey, I forgot who mentioned it, but all these people coming up missing. Hey, they got them somewhere in these bunkers, man, working them. Esau snatching people's up, got them working in these bunkers, man. Yeah. Because the ones that got that paper, they can live the rest of their days from the bunker and work from the bunker, man. All the technology, they bunkers 2-3 miles, 5 miles under the ground. Jake getting snatched up, little kids, grown folk, women and men. Hey, they in the bunker. Oh, they got a mountain. They got a mountain somewhere carved out, man. They need workers for that, man. To be they house because they say they got the seed bank with 30 million seeds or however 30,000 to however many seeds they got. They got cattle. It's called a Noah's Ark, man. Yeah, they got it. Go look it up on Google. If you probably can find it still. Because it's on there. They need people to work that, man. All these bunkers they got. They need people to work those bunkers, man. So they snatching people's up left and right. So all these kids they separate from the parents at these detention centers, man. These FEMA camps. What do you think they're doing with them, man? They're using the kids, terrifying them, getting their blood, because they still trying to make their enchantments work because nothing else is working, man. Yeah. Yeah. Let's read this. This is Malaka Yah, servant of Yahweh, Revelation 12:17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Beautiful, brother. I was saying this earlier. These devils don't care about 2/3 because they already got them. They already a part of the system. They voting, they complying, they conforming. This devil don't care about the 2/3, man. He wants you Jakes that's, hey, you watching, you being circumspect, you watching, trying to the best of our ability, you watching what you eat, you watching how you eat it, what you drinking. Jake just moving out here, man. They want the remnant, man. They don't care about these 2/3 Jakes, man. They already got them. They already pickings. They already, what it say? Sheep led to the slaughter, man. 2/3 of Jake don't care, man. They want the remnant, man. Lord willing, we be of the remnant number, man. It say Revelation 12:17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, which is Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which are the Israelites, which keep the commandments of power and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, man. These are the ones that these devils in Revelation, in Ezekiel 12:3, Salakia, Ecclesiastes 12:3, when they say the keepers of the house tremble, they trembling because of this, man. This is one of the powerful scriptures in the Bible right here, man. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Why? Because what? Which keepeth the law, which keepeth the commandments of power, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, man. We trying the best of our ability. We are, what is saying in Judges 5:11? Rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh Shah Mashiach every day, man. The moment the Lord give you the spirit to wake up, man, you got to put on as the elect, man. These devils hate you, man. They don't care about 2/3 of Jake. They hate you, man. The ones that still holding firm to that God gene, man, to that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai DNA, man. Everybody else is gone, man. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, man. With the remnant, man. Beautiful, man. Let me get a couple more of these precepts, man. Beautiful. Yeah, let's read this. Exodus 21:16. Oh, basic, but fire precept. Malakiyah, servant of Yahweh Shai, Exodus 21:16. and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Yeah, man, you got to pay. That's why Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, because you put your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, man. Period. And you didn't just put your hands on us, you went overboard, man. Zechariah 1:15. You helped forth the affliction, man. This is Jeremiah. Let's get this, since the brother put that up. Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah of hosts. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. For you demon niggas out there talking about all Israel is black. But what about the Northern Kingdom? Where they come into play at? Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together. And all that took them captives, held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly, he shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Hold on. You know what the word thoroughly means. Let's look it up. He shall thoroughly plead the cause of who? The remnant, man. The remnant. So let's look this up real quick in the blue letter. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Lord willing, man, we be up that remnant seed, man. Because if we not, man, it's a wrap. Let me see. Oh, they done. So they want to play. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Where to conduct the case. They hid the word from in the blue letter. These devils, man. Okay, so it say, if I click the right one, let me go back. Let me make sure. What's his name? Okay, let me click on this word, H853. Let me see what it say. Cause they hit the words for some reason. Okay, so it's the one before. All right, so H7378.
Strong's H7378, Reeve, and second entry, Ruve.
It said to strive, contend, to strive physically with words, to conduct a case or suit, sue, to make complaint, to quarrel, to contend against, plead, strive, contend. It said debate. It say hold a controversy, to defend. It said complain, contend, debate, plead, rebuke, strive thoroughly. Yeah, man. The Lord say again, he shall thoroughly plead thy cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet in the inhabitants of Babylon. He gonna give rest to the land. They gotta get moved out of there too, right? The least of the flock, they gotta get moved out so he can make rest, so he can give rest to the land, man. Yeah, so yeah, shalom, shalom. And shalom, hey, to everybody tuning in, the water for tuning in. Y'all about Shemal Shah Brakathon. So yeah, I don't went long enough, man. I just want to show those clips. Hey, cause Jake don't get it, man. And though we be compassionate, especially by our family members, first and foremost, man. You be trying to get them to get it, and it's like they ain't gonna get it, man. But maybe they'll get it in the last whatever time. It's Yahweh Shema Shah's will, whatever, man. But these jakes out here just moving like they got no care in the world, man. And that scripture say, hey, they put out the day of the Lord. Why? Because they comfortable. The one I was reading in Amos 6 and 3, verse 4 and 5, man, they comfortable because they got the nice cribs, and they got nice Tempur-Pedic foam purple mattresses and all this nice living flat screens, and they couches and everything is just good, man. And they really, like Jake really don't realize that these things is finna be burnt up, man. And they just around here doing what they doing, man. And that's what the Lord say. He gonna have to oh, the brother got it right here. That's the spirit. Oh, well, he got Zephaniah 1 and 14. Verse 12, when they say the Lord say he will punish the men that are settled in their leads, man. They don't want to change, man. So let's read this. Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, which we supposed to be doing. We supposed to be hastening the day of Yahweh, send back Yahweh Shai, man. It say, even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Hey, and they tell you that in Isaiah 3, one of the when they tell you in Isaiah 32 how the women, them 2/3 women going to lament for the teats and the pleasant fields and the fruitful vines. Well, part of them coming down when the Lord said in Isaiah 3, how he said in that day the daughters of Zion, they're gonna be on the ground because they walking with stretched forth necks and wanting and missing that they go. Right? He said he shall take away the tickling of the feet and all the it said instead of a girdle, a rent, instead of well set have baldness. When you read that in Isaiah 3 in verse 26, it tell you that their mighty men shall be destroyed in the war. So ain't gonna be no more thugs and gangsters and D-boys out here, man. They're gonna be gone. If they don't be already dead, they're gonna get drafted to the war, they're gonna die, man. Guess what's gonna be left? The spiritual mighty men of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. That's all gonna be left, man. It say, verse 15, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Hey, and as I tell you, it say, verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. It say an alarm. It say a day of the trumpet and alarm. Let me get this. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 8, and it reads, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? If the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle, man? This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be blowing that trumpet, man. This is Ezekiel 7:14. It reads, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. We blowing a trumpet to make all ready, man, but none go to the battle. Well, the remnant, the Lord is only looking for the remnant, man. Hey, and that's the spirit. That's beautiful. Hey, the same way Yahweh Shema Shai is waiting on what it say, that fruit, right? The same way the Lord is waiting patiently, hey, till all his mysteries finished playing out, man, for the righteous fruit. Esau wants you too, man. Esau want the remnant too. He want that righteous fruit too, man. Why? Because it's envy since the womb, man. Amos 1:11, Ezekiel 35, right? What he said in Genesis 27, hey, after my father rest. Then will I slay my brother Jacob, man. Envy, man. Hey, even though they got monies, they don't got monies, man. They got a carnal, the carnal flesh, and we have a spiritual spirit, man. We can't tap into their blessing, and they can't tap into ours, but they want our blessing though. And you got 2/3 of Jake want their blessing. How crazy is that? But that's called balance, man. 2/3 of Jake want what the heathens got carnally, and the heathens want what we got spiritually, man. And they can't get it, man. So how blessed, hey, even on the bottom with these scrubs and nothing, how blessed are we, man, to have the understanding of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Hey, Lord, when it's edifying, got to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rukak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the outwalk who are listening and learning, to a few sisters who are listening and learning. Hey, Lord, was edifying. Till next time, I say shalom. Wah, abab, abal. The water for tuning in. May you help out Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Hold on, the brother say you got verse 10. Hold on, bear with me for a second. Oh, okay. Con. Oh, yeah, that's Ezekiel 38. Okay, yeah. Hey, well, yeah, till next time, man, shalom. Wah, abab, abal. The water for all your precepts. The water.